Many people are discouraged about their health and the health of the planet. Healthyism is a down-to-earth program that helps you to look good and feel great, and as a tiny side bonus, helps the health of our planet. If you are uncertain what to do about personal or global health issues, I'm sure you'll find an answer or three in my easy-to-read Healthyism book, available at Amazon.com. For a free copy of my book, or to set up a free health coaching session, send an email to GaryD@Healthyism.com or call 416-805-5580.
So we're here now with Gary Drysdale, who's written a book called Healthyism Healthy I, Healthy World. Gary, great to have you here on the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you guys.
And here's the book. This is what it looks like. And you brought a globe.
I bought a globe.
Healthy World on it.
Healthy I, Healthy World. So a little demonstration here.
Oh, there you go. Here's the
Yeah, my
Healthy
mic's
Eye,
in the
and
way.
Healthy World.
Yeah.
And fantastic.
Yeah. Can you lower that down just a bit?
So, and you're from Moncton area.
I'm from the Moncton area, just outside Shediac area, about 10 minutes from Moncton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Northumberland Strait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, very nice. We'll
Okay.
go back every summer.
Yeah, well, that's great. I've only been there once.
To Shediac area?
I went
Yeah.
Through that area, through
Lobster
Moncton and Bay of Fundy and
Oh, nice.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
But tell us about the book, Healthyism. What's the essential message that you're
Well, the
getting across?
essential message is there's a lot of mess going on in people's lives, a lot of sickness, and there's a lot of problems in the earth, environmentally especially. And I wanted to find a way to connect the two. And I think I did. I think that through the individual, through increasing the health of the individual, we're able to increase the health of the world. And that includes environment and many other things.
Okay, so I mean that's kind of an interesting idea. They say that all the time, right? As above, so below.
Yes.
You know, be the change you want to be in the world.
Yes.
But still, sometimes I have trouble seeing the cause and effect of that.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well,
you know?
when you look at I asked my daughter the other day, I gave her a comparison. If you have a sick and tired person, will they be able, first of all I asked her, what do you think of the state of the world? She says it's a mess. She's 13 years old. She knows that it's a mess. I said, well, how do you think we can actually do something about it? And she says, well, I don't know. So, well, let me ask you this. If you had a sick and tired person compared to a healthy and energized person, which one would be better able to help the world? She said, healthy and energized. So to a 13-year-old, it made absolute sense. The more healthy you are, the better chance that you'll have a calmer mind, better chance that you'll be able to do better for others, because when you're feeling good, you're not in a survival mode. You're more in a mode of compassion, calmness, kindness, if there is that possibility in you, because most of us have been messed up our entire lives through the programming, through the input from many, many different realms, from society to school to government, media, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is it a book to help people get healthy? Is it essentially a lifestyle?
It is a conduct of life book, how to take a look at your life and take a look at the various areas and give yourself a little rating, how you're doing in various areas. I wrote it about me, so it's in the author's own examination of himself, but you can take a look at it and get ideas on what to do about your own life.
So how did you, I mean, it's called, the subtitle of it is The Evolutionary Practice of Constructive Consciousness. And I'm just curious, it's your own story, in a sense, right? And
I was probably high on sugar when I put that there.
Which is part of the problem.
Yeah, high on sugar, right?
When you have your second run, you can change that subtitle.
Yeah, subtitle would be more along the lines that, you know, health. Well, I think the original subtitle, Healthy I, Healthy World, sort of says it all. Yeah. And then something along, take care of the world through the individual. You know, just like you said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Well, do you have any diet tricks in there?
You know, I operate as a health coach, and I also operate as a fitness trainer. When you're a coach, you try to find out from the person what works best for them. sometimes have to change hat and be a nutritionist. You know, my wife's a dietitian, a registered dietitian. I've been studying diet all my life. I've ran and operated a bunch of fitness clinics, and so I have an understanding, basic understanding, what it takes to have to be healthy, to eat healthy.
Well, can you give us some tips?
Sure, absolutely.
In a nutshell?
You know, healthy, we hear it a lot. Wholesome foods are the way to go.
Which means what?
Well, which means foods that haven't been tampered by us, by humans. So what were cavemen eating? And you know, you can make a lot of fun of that, but what were cavemen eating when they were roaming before? They were eating what they could catch and what they could pick. And those are type of foods that are probably the best for you. We weren't into grains at all. We may have, on occasion, picked a grain here and there, but now it's mass consumption. We eat cereal for breakfast, bran buds. We have bread on our sandwiches. We have pasta at nighttime. It's grains throughout our diet. And
so are you saying just do proteins?
Well, no, you probably have, you might need a little bit of grains to give you the stores that you need, but, and protein, you know, I wonder if it's a complete myth, because you hear about the protein myth, that we need so much protein in our diet. If you look at all the big animals in the world, the hippos, the gorillas, and the giraffes and whatnot, what do they eat?
Exactly.
They're mostly vegetarians. A little bit of insects here and there that get on the leaves that they eat, but they're mostly vegetarians. So how much meat do you actually need?
Yeah, but then there's lions and dogs and bears.
Sure,
oh my, and
sure.
they eat meat.
Different stomach structure and whatnot, and you have to, you know, it comes down to how do you feel best, and you have to make yourself your own experiment. How do you feel best?
They say,
Yes.
or I've read some stuff that's saying that humans, being the primates that we are, like really the best food for humans is fruit, is really the best.
Well,
I think it depends on whose book you read.
yeah, well, think about it's all about insulin. So I seem to hear and read nowadays, insulin. How is your insulin affected by the foods that you eat?
The glycemic index?
It's like the glycemic index, but how your insulin reacts to the sugars that comes into your body. And sugar is sugar, but it's also fruit. And it's also all the derivatives of sugar and fructose and whatnot. So when you eat something that has a sugary output to it, your insulin rises, and you're going to have a reaction to that. But the thing is that how does it affect the reactions are inflammation. So how does it affect your body? In the gut, in the joints, in the brain. Those three key areas. And that's where a lot of our diseases are right now. Arthritis, stomach problems, and brain problems. I would say to people, the best thing you can do for yourself is just go, get rid of everything for 2 days, 3 days, and just eat vegetables, okay? Oh, who wants to eat vegetables? But
true.
Do that for 2 days, 3 days, and then start bringing things back into your diet.
No.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Okay, well, I ate that. I didn't feel so good. If you want to keep eating that, by all means. But if you want to feel better, maybe eliminate it again. Try something different. Start experimenting with what works for you. And then you're going to discover your own regime. There's no one regime that works for anybody. Because when you look at the lineage, your own lineage, where does that come from? You may have an Eskimo grandfather and a Indian tribe that only was vegetarian, meat and vegetarian. So maybe you work best with both
Or
vegetables.
a cannibal cousin?
Or a cannibal cousin. But if you have a lineage that was mostly vegetarian, maybe you work better with vegetarian. If you have a lineage that's mostly meat eaters, maybe you work better with that. You know, when we eat too much meat, even if you're a meat eater, probably. I have to keep saying probably because what works best for you. When we eat meat, we should do it with compassion. We should do it without. We shouldn't be gluttonous when we eat the meat. We should take a look at it. Don't get me started because.
No big steak for Hugh at
You
Morton's?
can have a steak.
All
No,
right.
I can do that.
Good thing.
No.
No,
See,
no,
he said I could.
you're
You
agreeing
can have
with
a
him.
steak.
I was going to
today?
treat you, but no.
Today?
I can't
Today's
do it
good.
today, but no.
Steaks are good.
It's good. I don't have to
eat
buy you a
meat.
steak.
I call myself a meat-eating vegetarian.
Yeah.
I eat mostly vegetables, and once or twice a week, more like once, I'll have a piece of meat. And when I eat that meat, I give it a little prayer, which I do with all my food. And it's not a religious prayer. It's a little affirmation with the food that I eat. Thank you for the life that you lived, no matter what it is in front of me. And
you do that for your lettuce too,
and for
because
my
it's
lettuce
living
too,
as well.
For sure.
Yeah, at one
okay,
time.
it may sound kooky, but it allows me for a moment, and it gives me a little shiver up my spine when I say it. Thank you for the life you live. I'm going to take you into my body. I'm going to assimilate you into my cells, and I'm going to go forth and do good in the world as much as I can. And if I mess up, I'm going to forgive myself, try again the next day.
Okay, now Gary, do you
Yes.
ever have a donut, or a piece of French fry?
Because Mary Ellen brought the muffins today.
Yes, I
So
do.
do you? And
Yes.
how do you feel after you eat it? Is
Well,
it tasty to you? Do you
Here's the
feel
thing.
guilty?
Here's the thing. If I'm feeling great, I call it like smother the other. You smother the bad foods with all the good foods.